All right. Hello, everybody. This is the Helm developer call for January 17th, 2019. Uh, Standard format is we'll talk about any announcements that we have. We'll do stand-ups for the core team, give a Helm 3 status update, and then have time for any discussion topics that we need to cover. So for announcements, we had the Helm and Chart Museum security releases go out. I just want to say awesome job to the team for getting that organized, and that went extremely smoothly in my eyes. If anybody has any thoughts on that that they want to bring up or suggestions on what we could do next time, feel free to bring that up.
I'd say special props to Farina for organizing everyone around that.
One of the things we actually do need to do as part of this, and I said I would take the action on this, but it probably won't happen until next month or the following, is we need a security release process documented in detail. It's actually a graduation criteria for the CNCF. And so a lot of the stuff we did rather ad hoc, even if we did it well, we probably just need to document everything.
Yeah, definitely, because I didn't know the process. It was my first time going through it, so with the CEs and
we winged it. We totally winged it. We just had a mail list, and then we winged it from there. There really wasn't much of a process.
Yeah.
I think it was less than a week then when we heard about it, right? That it was out.
So we got notified on a Wednesday, and the following Monday, we didn't want to do it before the weekend, we released security fixes.
Yeah, it was nicely done on Twitter and everything else, and it was done well and how you'd like to see it done.
Yeah, and good job for everybody stepping up to the plate where testing needed to happen or stuff needed to get written up, documentation. So good job, everybody. Then no other announcements that I am aware of. So let's go ahead and jump into stand-ups. You want to start, Farina?
Sure. So I worked on the Chart Museum, obviously, and Helm security release work, mostly on the Chart Museum side and just wrangling people to fix that and get it out. The other big thing, and Josh probably has some things to talk about too, is we took charts and container registries over to the OCI for some direction. This was a lot because CNAB is also trying to do the same thing, and we're trying to do the same thing and try and come up with the right way. Docker's working on something called CNAB to OCI and was looking for some direction, as well as us. And so we just kind of took that over there to what they said was a massively packed meeting because there were more than 20 people there. And we had a nice conversation where we debated different philosophies on how to do that a little bit. And Jimmy, over at Red Hat now, had a strawman proposal that was generally accepted on direction for using media types. We're also going to be looking at using different annotations, and there's a group of us who will get together between CNAB and Helm to look at, is there just like there's image annotations, there's standard names, keys for those. We're going to look at doing that also for apps in there to try and come up with some standard, and they seem to be accepting on that kind of thing as well. So when CNAB does something and Helm does something, it can have a little bit more coordination in the registries. And then next meeting, which is in 2 weeks, we're going to talk about search because that impacts us and some folks wanted to talk about it. So that'll be hopefully brought up in 2 weeks. And that was enough for the week for me. And with that, I'll pass it off to Josh.
Yeah, so very much ditto Matt Farina's. I basically, CodeFresh runs a giant chart museum service, so I wrote a tool. I put the link in the notes to make sure that we weren't hacked from the vulnerability. So if anyone asks about that, please share with them. Yeah, trying to move along the Helm 3 repo stuff. Really great talk yesterday. The Docker, two or three people from Docker joined the call, and it was really friendly talk. Also, I should probably wait till there are more people here, but I guess it's recorded. Today's my last day at CodeFresh, so I'm kind of going off into the wilderness, and we'll have probably a lot more time to work on Helm. So, depending on how things go. That's about it for me. Adam.
Yeah, well, good luck to you, Josh. Let's see.
Thanks.
The focus this past week for me has been around just kind of spiking out some new ideas after coming back from the break, taking a fresh look at a few things that I was working on before. And then also doing some prep for Helm Summit, trying to get stuff organized for committee, program committee, as well as co-chair election. And then just doing some PR reviews for Helm 3, as well as a few things for Helm 2. And then, Martin, did you want to give an update?
Yeah, sure. Delivered in a feature this week for the V3. So thanks to Adam for reviewing that and getting that through. Probably have to buy him beer now the next time I see him. Also, I've been doing some triaging on the issues queue and trying to give some answers on that. So there might be one or two that I push out to some of you guys, because there's one that has kind of it's kind of got down a bit of a rabbit hole, so you might be able to rescue from that one. And I'm just going to keep going with that. I've one or two issues I'm going to work on probably tomorrow, and also I have another V3 one I picked up. I might ping Matt about, because I just need to get a bit more information on exactly what you want to do on it. And apart from that, that's it. So if you want any help as well with the Summit stuff, just reach out to me and I can help. So I don't know who's next.
I think it's back to Adam.
Okay, back to you, Adam.
Sorry, I was muted. I kind of already gave the status for Helm 3. I haven't had a chance to update the cards on that yet, so I'll be updating that today, so we can take a fresh look at that next week.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to add. Nick gave some feedback out on the Zoom, so he said that he just couldn't make the meeting today. He's been curating the issue queue, and he's going to spend more time on it this week as well. Matt Fisher said that he's been participating in the Helm 3 repo discussions and getting wrapped up with the Summit Committee, and also triaging the queue as well. And he's going to spend a bit of time maybe working on a blog towards the discussion over the next few days and around OCI, etc. That's it.
Okay, great. And then discussion topics. Looks like Michelle had one on there. About doing a intro and deep dive for KubeCon, NativeCon in Barcelona.
Yeah, I can actually talk to this because I was involved in it last time. So we basically, the Helm project has a intro and a deep dive slot at every KubeCon, Cloud Native Con conference. So the next one is in Barcelona, and you can attach 2 maintainers to each slot. And we need to figure out who are the 2 people, the 1 or 2 people who are going to do the intro and the deep dive, and how we're going to roll with that. So we need to have that in. Oh, she didn't put the due date in here, did she? We do have a due date, but I don't think it's next week.
Also, the proposals are due tomorrow.
Proposals are due tomorrow, but our stuff does not fall within that. It is
Yeah, and I did them both for Seattle, and they're lots of fun. So
I did the intro. I was the sucker who did that one.
We were both really
an
great.
intro talk. I was thinking it was an intro workshop thing.
No, it's not. It's not a workshop. It's the intro and deep dive sessions. They are due.
Got it.
Looking for a due date. February 8th is when the details on those are due, because they are automatically included. They don't have to go through the normal selection process. Every project is guaranteed an intro and a deep dive, so they don't have to go through any kind of other selection process. And so we've just got to start figuring out who that is. We may want to wait till next week when we've got more folks here, because even folks like Scott, who was going to be here to take notes, wasn't in attendance today, and he's at Code Academy. I don't know. There's a bunch of folks who just didn't make it today who are your various companies. So we're a small crowd.
I was planning to, well, I had talked to Michelle about maybe doing a Helm 3 migration talk. So I guess I'd be more likely to be there if I have a talk there. So, but that probably won't be found out until then, for a long time.
Yeah, we might want to talk about the dates for that, just to make sure we know what the migration is before you have to give a talk on it, or at least you could give your thoughts on it at the state that it is.
Yeah, well, I figure by May it will be more. There'll be more info. So I was going to write something that was kind of like assuming the state of things in May, but yeah.
Right. I don't know how early you like to prep for talks.
I.
All right. Does anybody else have anything they want to discuss for this meeting?
Here, I can bring up something really quick. I was fielding an issue in Helm community, and I'll put it in the chat. So someone's talking about basically they need to pass a token on the command line. When they use kubectl, they use a -- token instead of using the token in kubeconfig. Is this something that we have been asked before? I basically said to him in Helm 3, we'll have to basically support whatever flags kubectl does, because it's essentially the same communication path.
We don't support all the same. Yeah, okay. We don't support all the same flags. We depend on,
you basically depend on the kube context, right?
Yeah, so we have a flag for context, so you can switch context, and then also namespace.
Yes, I think this is basically asking for 2 extra flags.
Yeah.
Insecure skip TLS and -- token, which I think all of these things you can actually put in a kubeconfig, but the way that he uses it is.
No, and the insecure may actually be one worth doing, because previously we had been talking to Tiller, and then Tiller would talk to the cluster, right? And now we're talking about talking directly to the cluster. And so I think it's a slightly different communication path. Or am I wrong in that?
Unless you set up a service for Tiller, then you still have to talk to the API directly.
Okay. Does Tiller support insecure today, or does it require secure?
It shouldn't matter, right? Because it's a different protocol.
Yeah. Okay. So the insecure one is probably more of a Helm v3 thing, right?
And then I told him all of it Helm v3.
Yeah, but Helm v2, because it's different, it doesn't make sense. And then the token one is a bearer token for authentication to the API server. And that's probably needs more. Are there issues for this in the backlog?
That's kind of what I was asking, but he had originally opened this in community, and I said, "Yeah, great idea. Open an issue and
Okay.
close it one."
Yeah, no, if they end up over on the Helm, then we can wrangle other people in who've got stronger opinions than me.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
the reason I was mentioning that is because I think we probably shouldn't pick and choose like what flags we support on it. We should support all authentication flags, or just the limited set we have just for reading in the kube config. Because we can actually use the flags directly from client Go and have the same flag set.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I was saying to him. Is I think it would make sense if I think it would make sense to mimic what kubectl is doing in Helm 3.
Yeah, it'll make it easier to support moving forward, and then we have the same convention that they do as well, so it'll be easy for scripting.
Right, exactly. All right, I didn't really plan to talk about that, but I had nothing else.
No, I think it was great. You did an excellent job. All right, and then Martin, you posted this one.
Yeah, it's person was asking about Basil and being able to, should it be he wants a part of Helm. So I just said maybe it wouldn't be a core thing and you could possibly work around it with plugins and stuff, but that was kind of a workaround, and he's more in, I think, wanting it in core, pretty much. So he put a fairly detailed explanation and what he wants to do, etc. So I suppose it's something I pushed up to you guys if you want to take a look. What is your opinion on it?
Yeah, I think pushing him towards a plugin is the correct response. I'll go ahead and read the issue. There's a lot of words on this.
Yeah, you might want to read it because I think maybe when I mentioned plugins, it was like putting petrol on the fire. So
yeah, the truth is we're probably not likely going to push for Basil and Helm. Basil's based on Blaze, which is the internal CI tooling they use inside of Google, and it has a very small number of people who use it. They've actually put these files all over the Kubernetes repo in order to support it, and for a bunch of people, it's turning out to be a pain for anybody not using it, trying to do things. It's even something that's still yet to be figured out. For example, if Kubernetes moves to Go modules when that's finally ready, how do you do that with Basil? Like, how do you even, that conversation was left as an unknown last time I checked. And so there's a lot of questions and issues around it, but it's really coming out of Google's workflow, and only a small subset of people really use it. So to couple that to Helm in any way is probably a bad idea, because we don't support other build tools that way, other CI tools that way. Why would we support this one that way as a special case? But some people really tend to love it and are asking for it everywhere.
Yeah, so yeah, it might need a sensitive type answer or not. Yes, maybe.
All right, so should we go ahead and do assignments? All right, how about issue Sherpa?
I'll work again with that. I kind of just work away on that anyway. So.
Okay, and notes?
I can do notes.
And moderator?
I can moderate.
Okay.
Adam, on the issue Sherpa, I'll probably need someone that has rights to put tags in because I can't do tags.
Yeah, I'll help you out, so go ahead and ping me.
Okay, no problem.
All right, great. And we are actually going to end this stand up 5 minutes early today.
Incredible.
Thanks everybody.
Bye.
See you, bye.